Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Rob.
And welcome to episode 49 of the Stream Bucket Podcast.
One off the big 5-0.
Yes, you keep building this up. What are we going to do next time?
Bugger all. But the important thing is people know how far we've come.
No, we've got an anniversary edition, I think you said last time.
Yeah, we'll have an anniversary edition.
Where Rob will wear a fancy dress costume.
Okay, fine.
But no one else will know.
Great.
Only I will see.
What will it be?
And I will see it.
Will it be sexual?
Yes.
Great. Fantastic. We all know how that's going to end.
Yes.
A tea party.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. How are you, Robert?
I'm very good, man. I'm fantastic. I'm fresh off of a cinematic experience.
Yeah?
I went yesterday with my girlfriend to Nebworth House, to the Luna Cinema.
Well, sounds pretty good.
So the Luna Cinema is a cinematic drive-in experience. So you drive.
Are you reading this?
No, I'm not. Well, it deserves credit. It deserves praise, actually. So you go to Nebworth House, and they're showing films like Back to the Future and The Goonies, and I think you said A Star Is Born.
Yep, my parents went to see Star Is Born.
I saw Jurassic Park last night. It was incredible. So you drive in. They have a little WhatsApp system where you scan a QR code on your phone, and then people come and bring you drinks, slightly expensive drinks and food that you've ordered. So my advice is to get the largest KFC bucket known to man instead, and 2 giant bottles of Fanta to cope with all the salt you're going to consume. But that was my choice.
Other chicken availability is available.
Other chicken is available. Yep, that is personally what I did. It was really good. I spent extra money to get the gold circle, and I'm glad I did. Because when we drove in, or by the time we'd settled near the front, so we had a really good view of the screen, I looked back, and it went back a long way.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got your speaker in the car, and the speaker's of a really good quality, and you kind of forget it's a speaker.
When you told me it was a speaker, I did think that's going to sound a bit rubbish.
They have outside speakers as well, but the inside speaker's kind of the boost of it.
Okay.
I think there was one moment in the film where it went a bit because the T-Rex roared too loud or something.
Right. Okay.
But apart from that, it was pretty flawless. Didn't notice it was a speaker. Properly immersed in the film. We were unlucky enough that the generator blew up or something. I don't know. But basically, on the right-hand side of the screen, the film suddenly stopped at the DNA. I'm Mr. DNA! And a black bit of smoke came out the side, and we were like, well, that's done. That's definitely over. And then the screen friggin' deflated.
Oh, really? I suppose it has to keep pumping,
I didn't know the screen was inflatable at the time. I thought it was actually being erected.
I sent you a picture, didn't I?
I must have not absorbed the information that it's inflated, but it went, and then it started going down. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then they
had to send Samuel L. Jackson in and switch the generator back on, didn't they?
All they found was his arm.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But they got it back. The highlight, of course, was the T-Rex scene when he gets, when he rips all the wires off because the power's been cut and stomps out onto the road. It was nice looking at all the other cars and experiencing that.
That film is made for outdoor cinema. In my head, imagine watching that scene and a T-Rex comes out from the back of the screen.
Yeah,
and then stomps through the screen.
I wondered, would people get out of their cars and run, or would they stay in the cars when it's safe?
Well, if you gotta go, you gotta go.
If you gotta go, you gotta go. Because I was looking around and I was thinking, there's a guy next to me in a Jeep with a sunroof, and I was like, dude, I know we've been instructed explicitly to stay in your cars and not go, sit on your sunroofs. Please do the thing. Please get out of the sunroof and look amazed. And I wanted someone to run to the toilet at the T-Rex scene, but I think after the power cut, we watched the DNA scene 3 times in a row, and after a while I was like, make him go away. You watched this screen for 8 hours. I was like, shut up! Yeah, if you can afford the gold circle, I 100% recommend that anyone tries it. It's really good.
Did you see anyone hanging out the back on the rented Jeeps?
Where you win, you take a selfie and then you win it. And so
you pay for it. It's really expensive. You get a ticket.
How much is it?
Loads. I think you get free food and drink.
They had a competition where they have one free.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we were really douchey. So this dude, there's a couple called Josh and Rachel. Basically, they say, "Here's yourself. Take a selfie. Best selfie wins. Best selfie wins the Mitsubishi truck experience.
Okay. Yeah,
where
yeah.
you light candles, you get the blanket, and then they freaking won it. And we were thinking, what's the point? And we looked at it, and there's all these candles lit. They had food brought to them. I was like, oh goddamn.
Did you not try?
No, we didn't realise.
What?
No. Well, I was like, well, we got gold circle. Why would we want to do that? Stupid Mitsubishi. And then we saw Josh going past. We saw the Josh guy.
I bought the gold
yeah,
circle.
well, it's not often,
the best of the best.
It's not often I splash out. But we were all excited. We were high on KFC. The Josh guy went past, and we were just shouting out the window, "Congratulations, Josh!" And we realised we're dickheads, and we
yeah.
and like it was just a moment. It was like a momentary bit of adrenaline where we wanted to say, "Well done, Josh, on your Mitsubishi experience."
Yeah. Then that woman came and told you off for laughing too much.
Yeah, she did, and I felt...
You're the worst people.
I know. Afterwards, I was like,
You're everything we hate.
I'm everything we hate. The thing was, I thought...
I've got the girlfriend!
No. There's a bit like that. But loads of cars left because of the power car.
Yeah.
And I thought, no one can hear us. Everyone's so far away now. And then I saw the door open.
No, that means there's nothing in the way to stop your noise.
Yeah, I did. I thought we were being quite quiet, but obviously... And we were only laughing for a couple of minutes. And and as soon as she came over and she said, "Can you keep it down?" I felt odious. I felt like I just ran over a squirrel. And I apologise profusely to that woman if she's listening. And I will never do it again. I'm sorry for not being quieter during the film. I hate it. I'm really sorry.
Despicable.
I apologise to film lovers internationally. I never want to be told off in a cinema environment ever again.
I'm going to turn that into a jingle.
No.
And play it every show.
I'm going to be a good boy in future.
Alright, okay. Good. Well, I'm glad you had fun ruining the experience for everyone else.
Never going to happen again. It's never ever. I only ruined it for one lady. Yeah. I'm sure I did ruin it for her, but it's done. Let's move on.
Good.
Please.
Good. Well done. Well done, you.
Nice.
What are we talking about on the show?
Okay, so on the last episode, you made me pick a word. Should we go into why the path to the film choice now, or should we do it?
We can do it later, but the word was orchestra.
The word was orchestra.
And by way of magic and weird coincidences and strange paths, it led us to...
American Pie 2.
Oh!
American Pie 2, not American Pie 1.
No.
We'll go into it wide later. We've got some movie news to talk about. Despite the fact there was no news this week, there's some interesting little tidbits in there to get into. So I'd very much hang on for that. And we're going to delve into a little bit of Xbox action.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we talked about the PlayStation 4 segment thing live with all the creepy non-human things.
Yeah.
And the Xbox ones happened.
Yep.
Don't know much about it, so we got Nick back. Not going to be quite as long as last time, so you don't need to worry too much. We're going to cover it, we're going to gloss over it, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
And got a couple of reviews coming as well.
Yeah.
And in fact, we've got one right now.
Should we get into it?
Yeah.
Boosh!
Adam's Film Reviews. The Fanatic 2019.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Dunbar. Is Hunter Dunbar here tonight?
That's enough.
I need to get an autograph. Don't let him do this to me. I'm a fan. I'm a #1 fan. Is it difficult to find famous people's houses?
I use my Star Map app. You have to be careful. I don't want you to be accused of stalking.
Hey, you can't just come to my private residence looking for me. Listen, pal, I don't know how you found me, but I don't ever want to see you in this neighborhood again.
The Fanatic is one of those films I've heard a lot about, but couldn't quite get my head around exactly what it was until I saw it for myself. An unbelievable flop at the box office, The Fanatic managed to average a whopping $60 per cinema it was shown in, before hitting video on demand and DVD sales. And it's easy to see why. Written and directed by Limp Bizkit frontman Fred Durst, and boy does he do his best to remind you of this, the Fanatic introduces us to Moose, a middle-aged autistic street performer in Hollywood played by John Travolta. Yes, the John Travolta. A lover of Hollywood and of cinema in general, Moose spends his hard-earned cash buying movie memorabilia and hunting for autographs from his Hollywood heroes. Oh, and as we see later, also by decorating his flat like a serial killer, complete with dolls, stuffed animals and more. One particular Hollywood star takes Moose's interest, Hunter Dunbar, a B-movie horror star played by Devon Sawa, who also happened to play the unhinged stalker Stan in the Eminem song of the same name. Fun fact. When Hunter is due to do autograph signings at Moose's favourite comic store, Moose couldn't be more excited, but his excitement's dampened when Hunter leaves early and, to Moose's horror, is even rude to his fans. When Moose complains to his paparazzi friend Leah, played by Anna Golger, she turns him on to an app that advertises the addresses of celebrities. Using the app, Moose excitedly visits Hunter's home, and that's where the fun begins. Aware that Moose has been hanging around the front gate, Hunter confronts Moose and tells him where to go, but Moose keeps on coming back again and again. Each visit, he crosses the line further and further, eventually breaking into the home and even assaulting Hunter's maid, leaving her to die on the lawn. Yeah, that probably does sound like a spoiler, but bloody hell, this film isn't worth worrying about. Throughout the whole film, it feels like we should feel sorry for Moose. He's clearly out of his depth and is trying his best, but he fails at every hurdle. But the further he goes crossing the line, the weirder he gets with Hunter, the more your sympathy falls to the admittedly dickish Hunter Dunbar. All he's trying to do is live a life without being harassed and to keep his home and son safe from potentially dangerous people. The final nail in the coffin is when Moose assaults Hunter in his home, tying him to a bed and play acting scenes from horror movies, while Hunter pulls every trick from his book to try and free himself and save his family. Ultimately, the movie ends with some disturbingly graphic violence that's not fun or earned, it's just horrible and uncomfortable. By the end, I didn't feel sorry for Moose. I didn't even feel sorry for Hunter, despite him doing nothing wrong. I just wanted to have a shower and never think of it again. I don't know what this film was trying to say. Was it exposing the danger of fanatic fans? Was it showing the divide between rich and poor in LA? Or was it just faintly offensive, horrific tale that just meant John Travolta could leave the house? For God's sake, only watch The Fanatic if you want to try and work out what on earth people were thinking when they created this film. I wish it was bad enough to say it would be fun to watch with friends, but as it goes, it's a little bit dull, and not a little bit depressing. Blech.
Green Bucket, Adam and Rob.
Welcome to Fortnite Schmortnight. Dave Franco has been cast as Vanilla Ice in an upcoming biopic.
Oh, that's good casting.
It's incredible casting. Franco will be transforming into the 1990s rap icon for a movie currently titled To the Extreme. The film will show us the rapper's rise to MTV stardom after the release of one of the all-time one-hit wonder songs, Ice Ice Baby. The tone of the movie is expected to be similar to that of The Disaster Artist, which Franco also starred in. Yes,
that's true.
That's an amazing casting. I was looking at them together. There's a picture of them together, and he looks like he will be able to adopt the facial expressions, because Vanilla Ice was a very ridiculous man.
Yes, he was.
Yes,
he was.
So I think he'll be able to pull that off well.
Is he going to do the ninja rap from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I bloody well hope so.
That would make it. That would make the 2020 worth it.
The thing which actually quite interests me about this is that Vanilla Ice is so kind of mocked. You know, no one actually within a serious rap community would say, "Oh God, I love Vanilla Ice." Very rarely, ironically maybe. But then I would, as a result of that, I actually want to hear his story. Unlikely star, shunned by the wider world, by probably the NWA fans and the Snoop
yeah,
fans.
I mean that's the thing. He's so at odds with the other wave happening at the time, isn't he?
Yeah,
it's pure 90s white boy rap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see his story.
80s,
90s.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how his story develops in the aftermath of
So
that.
the thing I'm picturing in my head is, did you see the Bros documentary?
I did not.
Okay, legendary Bros documentary. It's so awkward and weird that people didn't know if it was staged.
Bros?
Do you know the band Bros?
No.
When will I be famous?
Oh, God, yeah, okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. There's a documentary about them?
There's a documentary a couple of years ago. It came out around Christmas time, and it's amazing.
Right.
And that's what's in my head. This awkward, weird, like, story of revenge and we're just pissing about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good.
No.
Do we know anything about the director or?
Nothing else as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, there could be. I could have just not researched it enough. You know, this is Fortnite Schmornight after all.
It's not like you've had 2 weeks to prepare.
Shut up. What? Shut up. Kind of coming in left field with your friggin' smarms. Yeah. Shut up.
Oh, Bobby.
Shut up, Adam.
Bobby,
Just
Bobby,
shut
Bobby.
up.
You've had all
Just
the time in the world.
Why don't you come and review your films 2 weeks ago? Coming up with the Fanatic, with stupid John Travolta. You got that?
Yeah, it's great.
Great. Ah, it's bloody brilliant. Shut up. Anyway, new images of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost's hotly anticipated TV series, Truth Seekers, have been released. Now, I thought this was good news, mate, because I love a bit of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and they're returning to a TV environment. But it's bad because they've stolen our TV show.
What is it? What is Truth Seekers?
Sort of. Well, Truth Seekers is about a team of part-time paranormal
Oh,
investigators.
shut up.
Yeah, who team up to uncover and film ghost sightings across the UK, sharing their adventures on an online channel for all to see. However, as they stake out haunted churches, underground bunkers and abandoned hospitals with their array of homemade ghost-detecting gizmos, their supernatural experiences grow more frequent, more terrifying and even deadly as they begin to uncover a conspiracy that could bring about Armageddon for the entire human race.
Oh, for God's sake.
That's ours!
So hang on, that's Ghost Adventures meets Ghostbusters.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds freaking brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm totally sold, but it should be us.
I mean, that we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that comes from Empire. Due to release on Amazon's streaming channel with Malcolm McDowell, Emma Darcy, and Samson Kayo also starring.
Is it a TV series?
It's a TV series.
Okay.
And apparently, like, Nick Frost is kind of more front than Simon this time. So,
Well, do you know what? Not surprised by that. Did you watch? Oh, bugger! There was a film they were both in recently, and Simon Pegg is completely on the side.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Set in a school. If you imagine like Skins meets Harry Potter, but without the magic, just being torn apart by giant monsters and stuff.
Oh, yes, yeah. I remember the trailer, but I have no idea what the hell it's called.
Reviewed on this show.
Oh my god.
But Simon Pegg was very much on the sidelines for that.
Yeah, but screw you guys, screw Simon, screw Nick. That's ours, but never mind. Anyway,
Just to do it for real.
yeah. Bill and Ted is to arrive on VOD, video on demand, amid the ongoing pandemic thing. The movie is going to be released this way, as well as screened at whatever cinemas feel they want to play it on September the 1st in America. I cannot help but feel that that's a blessing in disguise. I don't think if Bill and Ted 3 got a cinematic release, it would do well. I think it might bomb.
I don't know. There's enough nerdy old guys.
I mean, if you've got your unlimited card, you're definitely going to go and see it.
Yeah,
I would definitely go and see it. But I think for the wider... I mean, and Keanu Reeves, I suppose, has got a new wave of fans, hot off the heels of John Wick. But I'm not sure it would do so well.
It's tricky. But then it is reinventing itself. That's what Bill and Ted's always quite good at. It's sort of always... every film's got its own flavour.
Yeah. No, you're right. Well,
I need to watch them again, really.
I desperately need to watch them again. Winter is coming.
What?
Winter is coming.
Yes.
Well, not yet. But the upcoming Game of Thrones prequel has begun. I agree. Has begun casting its leads. According to Entertainment Weekly, HBO has begun their hunt for its lead stars in House of the Dragon, The series, as it sounds, will focus on them nasty dragon-riding Targaryens and be set 300 years before the events of the books we know today and the TV show. Let's hope that David Benioff and D.B. Weiss have nothing to do with it. Season 8 is still a sour taste in all of us ex-Game of Thrones fans' mouths.
Is there prequel books? Or is this completely made up?
There's an absolute ton of source material within the books themselves.
Oh, okay.
Because they're so big and boring.
Yeah.
You can just
Just like Lord of the Rings, you could probably tie together another book from all the side stuff. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he has other things aside from the core books. I don't know if he has Silmarillion type crap.
He might have, unfinished tales and stuff.
I'm not as big as. I mean, I've read. Well, I've audiobook through 3 of them, and I'm not that big of a fan.
Well, I've tried reading the first book before it got that big. When the Game of Thrones was first coming out, someone lent me the book, and I went, nah.
It's a tough read. But no, like with all honesty, the first 5 series were freaking incredible. So like, I would if they can recapture that, then I'm in. But if they're anything like the last couple, especially the last season, rushed and
although interestingly, my sister's just watched, made her way through all of it, and she didn't mind it so much. And we do wonder if you binge it all in one go, it might not have such a bad taste because you've been building up to it.
Oh well, yeah, you're right actually. Because at the end of every series, what me and the people I watched it with would do is we discuss theories.
Exactly. Yeah.
We discuss where's Arya going with the skills she's learning.
And you'll get invested in those theories, and then you'll be disappointed when none of it happens.
What does the White Walkers mean? What do the signs mean? And then all of a sudden, none of it means anything. No, it's not important at all. It's not important at all. So
there is something in that, but
I've got a bit of fun for you for the last bit of news.
Yeah,
a lovely little bit of fun.
Yes,
it's not really news. Finally, not so much news, but more of a situation where a content creator for Collider has ran out of ideas and needs to crap out an article. Collider has ranked every Alien movie from worst to best.
Okay,
I want to see if you agree. I'll give you a hint. They're wrong.
Okay.
They're very wrong. Okay.
Is this including Covenant and Prometheus?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
I agree with 8 with last place. Alien vs Predator Requiem.
Oh god, it's including all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Unless you'd have to be on a certain level of depressants to enjoy Alien vs Requiem. Like serious drugs, because
I've only seen it once, and when I saw it in the cinema, I remember preferring it to the first Alien vs Predator.
Really? Oh, that's where we disagree.
I don't remember why I thought that. I think it's more violent, but then you also don't see anything.
You can't see a thing.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah. So yeah, I think that sucked ass. 7, Alien vs Predator. That needs to go higher for me. 6, Alien Resurrection.
Well, you can close this right now because that's.
I agree.
That's one of the best.
That's rubbish, isn't it? So what?
What are they talking about?
I don't know. 5, Alien Covenant. 4, Prometheus.
No. Yeah. No. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No. Sorry. Yes.
They're in the
Covenant
right
is
order.
worse. Yeah.
And then this is right. Arguably, 3 Alien 3, 2 Aliens, 1 Alien.
Yeah.
So, I mean, first off, what do you prefer, Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection?
Now, I've changed my opinion as I've got older.
Right.
Because I love Resurrection because it's proto Firefly.
Yeah.
But
it totally is.
Because even Joss Whedon wrote it, or originally anyway. But as I've got older, there is something about 3. I watched it relatively recently, and it's really good.
I love 3.
It's the cast.
Charles Dance.
Well, it's not even all of them. Like, it's just a who's who of rough British. The only person not in it is Sean Pertwee.
Yeah, it's a hardened, intimidating environment with these characters.
Although thinking about it, I do prefer Resurrection.
All right, so
I like 3 more than I used to, but Resurrection is fun.
Shall we? So from the top. It should be Alien, Aliens, Alien. I'd say Alien 3 just about gets. No, Alien 4 is so much fun.
It is fun.
No, yeah, screw it. Okay, Alien Resurrection in 3rd place, Alien 3 in 4th.
Yep.
And then I'd go Alien vs Predator. And because I found it fun, and I liked the Queen coming out at the end. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, if
then-
you're counting Alien vs Predator, you should be counting all the Predator films as well.
Yeah, true. And that's a whole nother bag of issues. And then it has to be Prometheus, Alien Covenant, and then Requiem, I'd say, in last place. That would be my...
I agree.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I need to... I don't want to, but I need to watch Requiem again. But yeah, no, I agree. That's what a wholesome conversation this was.
We agreed! Yeah.
Collider, I can't swear. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up, Collider.
Sack this writer. Sack him. So concludes Fortnite Schmortnight.
Nick's Game Reviews. The Last of Us Part 2. I'm going to come right out and say this. I am not a big fan of The Last of Us. Now, before you start, I said I wasn't a big fan. I didn't say I didn't like it. I didn't say it was terrible. I do, however, think it is way overrated and is certainly not the best game like so many people seem to think. It's got a good story, but the gameplay was just terrible. It was janky and messy and broken. I would constantly be drawn out of the cinematic experience Naughty Dog had created by the horrendous controls, camera and general movement. However, going into The Last of Us Part 2, after really enjoying Uncharted 4, I was actually quite hopeful. Uncharted 1 to 3 were also messy and broken and difficult to control, but the stories carried them. Uncharted 4 saw a massive level up in the controls and they ramped the story up to a whole new level. So, they would do the same with The Last of Us, right? Well, turns out they did. I've heard many people say they feel Last of Us 2 is just an interactive story, and well, in many ways it is. However, I do genuinely think that a part of that cinematic feeling is helped by how well made the game is. It is, at heart, a stealth game. And with the frankly exceptional game mechanics and design, Naughty Dog have created the most cinematic experience ever seen in a game. And it's not even an adventure game like Detroit Become Human or The Walking Dead, etc. The world they've created is so interactive and dynamic that I wanted to explore every inch of every house. When I would find a building I couldn't get into, I would look everywhere to find a way in, and sometimes I would. By using the environment, abandoned tools and ropes, I would often make a way into a building by doing what I would try to do in real life. Plus the story is superb. Ignore those crybabies on the internet and just enjoy a very human story about survival and revenge. The graphical presentation is just as good as you would expect. Playing on my base PS4, it looked just as good as many of the games I play on my Xbox One X, an achievement that can't be congratulated enough. And the sound design. This is the best thing about Last of Us 2. If you're going to play this game, play it with headphones on. Flipping hell, I knew exactly where every enemy was, which massively helped with the stealth sections, and the atmospheric sounds were astounding, from dripping water to rustling leaves to creaking floorboards. Absolutely unbelievable. If I did have one criticism of The Last of Us Part 2, it would have to be the length of the game. I clocked in at just under 18 hours. At around 10 hours, I started to grow tired of waiting to get to the next part of the story. I couldn't be bothered with searching anymore, and so I started rushing. There were several points where I feel the game could have ended and it would have been perfect, but instead it overstays its welcome, and it means the last few hours were tiresome and very boring. Overall though, a good job from Naughty Dog to take a franchise that I had so little interest in and release a game that easily slots into my list of top games for this generation. Incredible achievement.
Oh, mademoiselle, would you like to have a film discussion?
Oh yes, monsieur. I'd love to have an in-depth film discussion with you, like I do on Screen Bucket.
They said they'd be friends forever.
It's Nippon time, baby!
Now, after a year apart...
Ah, the one that got away, huh, son? You two made quite the handsome couple on the internet. It was brought up at a PTA meeting.
They're about to learn that sometimes, in order to move forward, you've got to go back.
Things are changing. Everything is.
Who wants me to touch
Amber.
Oh, yeah!
You guys first.
What?
You don't touch, we don't touch. That's right. You gotta kiss.
Yeah. Oh!
Come on, be a man about it. You won't die.
Well, it was my choice.
It was indeed. You chose randomly the word orchestra.
I did, from a book that I can't remember. It took me a while. It took me till, nearing the end of the deadline. And I was thinking of all sorts of sophistic films. Not a lot of films about
sophistic.
Sophistic. Did
Very
I say
good.
sophistic?
Yeah, you
I
did.
said sophisticated, didn't I?
No, you wanted to say it, but you just cut it off. Like, you're really cool.
How ironic.
Oh, sophistic. Hey,
I'm thinking of a sophistic film.
I'm an intellect.
I'm an intellectual. So I was thinking, there's not many films about orchestras, and I guess none of them are good, because orchestras are boring. But that ruins it, doesn't it? No. So I was thinking about musical films, and first of all I went to a film called Brassed Off, which would have been a very deep chat about the northern shutting down of the mines and how a brass band
would have been very sophisticated.
Suicide isn't about, there's all sorts of deep things in it.
Yeah,
and then I thought Whiplash, which is a torturous film about a teacher who uses abuse to get the very best out of his students.
Yeah, Whiplash was the first thing that came to my mind.
And then you casually mentioned American Pie, and I thought, let's do a boner comedy.
Yay!
Let's definitely do American Pie and disregard the deep chats we were going to have.
So we sat down to watch American Pie 1,
yeah,
and then suddenly I remembered, don't they actually go to the camp?
They go to Tall Oaks Band Camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we quickly changed tack and stuck on American Pie 2, currently available on Netflix.
Yes, and straight away, 2001, J.B. Rogers, hot on the heels of the loved and adored American Pie, kicks straight in with the greatest band of all time, Blink-182, well, after the introduction, and it has the best soundtrack ever. It has Sum 41, it has American Hi-Fi, it has Blink, it has Green Day, it has Alien Ant Farm, the list goes on. These films are tailor-made for my 16-year-old self.
Your 30-year-old self?
Yeah, true, okay.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
At
Yeah,
all.
I mean, American Pie, I don't know whether kids still watch it, but definitely a massive teenage fan. Like, everyone in our generation watched this film.
Yeah.
As they were coming into their 12, 13, 14, 15 years old
selves. It served as like a precursor of like, I must have watched it when I was like 12 or something, and I remember watching it and thinking, oh my god, I cannot wait to be like older, because these parties look incredible.
I agree,
and look at all the girls that are around. This looks like it's going to be the best thing ever. I'm going to go to beach parties. I'm going to have beach house parties.
Yeah, me and my friends are going to get a lake house for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to drink beer and paint doors.
Unless you are like a YouTube sensation, you cannot afford that today.
No, it's one thing I noted, actually. The trouble with a lot of American films, especially coming-of-age teenage films, is the kids are always just so rich.
Yeah.
Scream is the worst example of that.
Yeah.
Everyone has a bloody great mansion in the middle of the California hills,
It's absurd. It's absurd how big the houses are.
I suppose horror films are quite the same, but even then, like Halloween, they're still big suburban houses. But this American Pie does feel more sort of homely.
So Jim's family is more of a little suburbia house. It's a big suburbia house.
Yeah, but it's America as well, so yeah.
So it's a house. It's pretty normal.
It's no different to like Buffy
No.
scale, where it's just pretty regular. It's not. Yeah, it's not a mansion on the top of a mountain overlooking the Sierra das Lobos or whatever.
Yeah.
You know. So that's interesting, and so when you're getting to know these kids, in the first film they're leaving high school, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they would be about 18.
Going to prom.
This is after American Pie 2 is after their first year at college, so they would be 20?
20, yeah. And
19?
20. And every sort of American Pie film revolves around a mission. And in the first two, it's Kevin's brother who whispers in his ear, when I was your age, I had this, in the first one, I had this book. This book which would teach you how to do this really amazing sex trick. And because it further revolved around them all losing their virginity before prom.
Yeah, that was the quest, wasn't it?
That was the quest.
Yeah.
And then, so the quest in the second one is to have the best summer party ever. It's to get this summer house.
It's not as... It's a bit vague in the second one. Because the second one, you've got Jim's there's a ticking clock in that Nadia's coming.
Yeah.
And Jim needs to get good at sex to impress her.
Yeah. I mean,
but then they're also doing a party. There's all sorts of weird stuff going on.
It's like so I guess like losing your virginity is pretty major, but in this one, the whole like mission for Jim especially is to get good at sex.
Yeah,
it doesn't really carry as big of a punch.
But they don't. They all have, and they've all got their own different objectives, and some of them a bit vague. Who's the smarmy one you want to punch in the face?
Kevin.
Yeah.
Tara Reid's ex-boyfriend.
So he wants to get back with his friend. What is he doing?
He's kind of farting about. It's weird between them, and I think he's trying to discover if he can work together in the friend zone. That's the message of their relationship.
Yeah.
Can you still be friends with someone after you've broken up?
What's handsome McChuck?
Oz.
What's he doing?
So Oz, he has his girlfriend Heather has left on a Euro trip, and he's kind of like the anti-Stifler. So Stifler's who again brings most of the best laughs to the film, is the kind of obnoxious, potty mouth, treats girls like crap. But then,
well, they're both jocks, but one's a nice jock and one's a bad jock.
They're very good friends. They bounce off each other, like, "Oh, you" to the other one.
Yeah.
So Oz is trying to work on his sort of...
Do you want to play ball? Do I?
What are you doing? Fishing. Yeah. Oh my god, that's horrible. Yeah. Ball.
So awful.
And then we got Finch, who bizarrely gets it into his head that Stifler's mum, who he fell in love with and had sex with in the first movie.
He's obsessed with Stifler's mum.
At the start, at Stifler's party, he goes into Stifler's mum's room and he's sniffing her perfume and stuff. He's absolutely smitten with her. And when he kind of makes it up in his head that Stifler's mum's coming to visit, so he starts mastering this tantra and sexual meditation techniques, so when he can be ready for her. It's very strange. He's quite funny.
Yeah.
He has some laughs.
He does have some laughs. I think it doesn't have a clear end point.
No.
And it's just a load of people just...
Stifler's just Stifler, and he just wants to have
But
sex.
he steals the scene.
Every time.
I just want to watch Stifler. That's the thing. That's what I take away from it.
The way he reacts to things, the way he reacts to getting weed on, the way he reacts when they think the two owners of the painting house are lesbians, and he wants them to do more stuff, and he's
my favourite moment.
3.
Oh, that doesn't even count.
But that counted.
That totally counted.
That's how you kiss your mother. Mm-hmm.
Don't you say anything.
Best moment.
Absolutely brilliant. There's an amazing scene which is very of its time, and we were talking about how they delivered it, where they have the walkie-talkies during this scene with the two girls, and other people tune into it. You've got the police department, you've got the dad who's playing with the kids, and the kids hear all this naughty stuff over the radio.
Yep.
So
which is a really, really... There's a few moments in this film where, as we were watching it, I haven't seen this in 10 years or so at least, watching it going, well, that was a bit lame. That was a bit of a wet joke.
Mm.
And then so often it would follow with a really smart joke. Yay!
Yeah.
When you're the first time. The speaker thing's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's absolute genius. It needed to be set up,
It did.
I think. There needed to be some distortion on the radio, the walkie-talkies, beforehand. And I keep getting this burger joint.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Definitely.
Whatever, who cares? But then it just happens. But then you sort of get it.
Yeah.
The one that was really lame was Oz and Red Lady
Heather
are having phone sex.
Right.
And
oh yeah, God.
There's another line, and he has to change the line, and it's a takeaway or something. It just doesn't. It's not funny.
No, it wasn't funny. It was a silly accent.
It was just really dumb. But what is funny is the second afterwards when Stifler's on the other end.
Yeah.
Oh, Heather, baby. Stifler, get off! I am getting off just listening to the two of you guys. Keep going.
I think we should try this another time.
Yeah, all right. Bye-bye. I love you.
I love you.
Oh, come on, you guys. I was almost there.
What I found interesting with Stifler, and it's almost like they deliberately put the line in, is it's as if he came over a bit too vulgar in the first one, and they had a bit about him saying about, oh, I know how to do this.
Yeah.
Are you, is this a consensual moment for you?
It's in that film, in fact. At the very beginning, they're having a big house party. It sort of opens on this house party. I guess because it's them all coming back from college, so it's like homecoming almost. And he's plying this girl with liquor.
Yeah.
And she says, "He's trying to get me drunk." And he goes, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And we're like, that's horrible.
Slow down. No, you can't do that.
But then he hooks up with her again, and it's very, very clear.
He's laying down the boundaries. He's saying, "Are you okay with this? Is this all consensual?"
You may be intoxicated. Oh, yeah. Are you certain that you wish to engage in consenting...
Hey, don't count your chickens, Buster.
I'm just playing by the rules, baby.
I make the rules.
And even though he does come across a bit like some of the Stifler is dated, like you say, he is by far and away the best thing in it, and he is the funny side of it.
Although he wouldn't work on his own.
No.
He does need to bounce off the more normal people.
Yeah.
American Pie 2, it has what's really weird watching it again now, is it has these really bright moments, which are the moments you remember.
Yeah.
I remember, certainly. But there's a lot of filler. So the bits I remember include Jim using super glue rather than lubrication during an act of self-pleasure. And so he ends up getting stuck, not only to himself, but to the very embarrassing porno tape.
Yeah.
And that works.
Yep.
No, I remember it being funnier, but it's genius. It's really good. The other highlight is Stifler being peed on, thinking it's champagne.
Yep.
That works. I remember that. That's about it.
I liked, what's his name, when Jim's got to pretend to be the band, the trumpet expert.
Right. Yes, so let's talk about that. The band camp, the reason Orchestra was chosen for the band camp.
Yeah.
Jim has sex with... what's her name?
Michelle.
Michelle, played by Alison Hannigan, at the end of the first film, but then she just runs off. Is that the film with She Used Me?
Yeah, that is.
She used me!
Yeah.
But now he's panicking because Nadia, this beautiful Polish, what the hell's she from? I don't know. Is coming to visit, and he wants to be good. He wants to perform for her. So he goes back to
Michelle
to learn what his mistakes and learn from her. And
first to ask if he was good or not.
Yeah, to ask if he was good or not on his first time. No.
Guess what? You're going to suck. It's going to be awful.
It's going to be rubbish.
Yeah.
Just write it off. Write it off. Just
get
the first few times.
You get a good 5, at least.
Yeah, if not a lifetime.
Exactly. Don't worry about it. Do you know what?
16 years, for God's sake.
Do you know what's one of my favourite bits was when we were watching. So there's a bit where Jim, for the first time, he finds Michelle and he's looking through the bushes at her. There's the other girls playing the flute, and we were like, "Hang on a minute, this is a bit creepy." So we paused it, round it back, and you put on Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I put Friday the 13th Part 4 theme on, and it worked disturbingly well.
When he's just peeking through the bushes at her, and then she looks terrified as she turns around. Yeah.
we were yelling, "No, run!
There's the other really entertaining aspect of it. If you're tempted to watch this film, but you don't think you'll get enough enjoyment out of it from the kind of film and the story and the humour side, you need to watch it and twitch on the extras.
Yeah, so as the film progressed, my eye wandered off the boring cast and wandered to the extras, and I slowly got you invested in it as well.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal.
It's incredible.
There was no one directing the extras; they were just doing whatever they wanted. What was the best one?
The guy, the couple jutting their heads back and forwards like pigeons, in the bottom right of the corner.
But presumably, there was no music in the party scene, so everyone was just dancing to their own head groove.
I've been an extra a couple of times. I know who those people are. They're not into current pop culture at all. They're like amateur actors. They've managed to grab a big hit.
Yeah.
And they've been told by the director, okay, so over the top of this scene, we're going to be playing sort of pop punky music sort of thing. So dance like that sort of music. And I go, oh, I don't really know what that is. but I'm going to dance to it anyway. Do you want head bopping? And then they just start doing the pigeon thing. And that's what people do when they're an extra. They don't have a freaking clue what they're doing.
And it's very distracting once you see it. There's also someone's dad in the background in that same shot.
And I'm wondering if it's the director or something. I don't know.
It's someone
so
from the cast.
out of place.
There's one bit as well where there's two girls and there's a guy awkwardly clinking his cup. They were obviously having a really deep chat and this guy just came over. There's so many stories happening here.
One of the lags in particular was when... So this is a film which comes with its rules, a la Scream. Like, it's... You know when they're talking about the rule of three. And they go... Okay, so with a guy, when he says he slept with 3 women, you divide that.
When Harry Met Sally moment.
Yeah, exactly. And then the women, it's the opposite. And I wonder if that was just them trying to shoot... This is the thing with this film. It's like 10 Things I Hate About You or like Scream. There's rules. They love that. People love that at the time. People love that sort of thing. This film comes with its own set of rules.
Right. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
because I think the first film's just juvenile.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, because they're kids, still kids. And then it's this film then supposed to be people learning to grow up.
Yeah. It's about growth.
Jim settles down.
Yeah. Stifler kind of... No, he stays exactly the same.
Well, no, he learns to respect his brother.
Yeah, he does.
Right at the end.
Right at the end, because his brother brings him 2 hot women to have a threesome with.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Kevin learns to be mature with his ex. Give me a summary of American Pie. What do you think? Where does it come in your heart and in our sort of rating system?
I mean, I've got to be honest, this time round, I loved it as a kid. This time round, I didn't think it was that good. There were moments of really, really high comedy where we were laughing out loud. I wonder if it should just be smushed in with the first one. Like, it's almost like a second chapter.
Yeah.
As opposed... Because it runs straight through. It doesn't pause to tell you who the characters are.
No. It just goes straight in.
The soundtrack's definitely of its time as well.
All of them. All of them have amazing soundtracks. I've had an interesting journey of the American Pie films in general. Oddly enough, when I got past uni and I got into my early 20s, I was kind of scared of watching them because they're kind of, to me, they're like a sign of my getting past that age.
Right, yeah.
It kind of made me sad thinking about them. I haven't gone near them. This is the first time I've come back to an American Pie film since probably uni or before. And it's been quite refreshing and nice and almost nostalgic to come back to it. And although it's nowhere near Hollowdale Media Hall of Fame material, definitely holds a very warm place in my heart, and I very much enjoyed watching it again.
It definitely reminds me of college. Or even before college.
Yeah,
like
before college.
Pool parties and drinking and all sorts of fun things.
Yeah.
But I think I'm more of a Wet Hot American Summer guy now.
Yeah.
I think that's twisted my brain. Well, American Pie 2, it's a classic. It's nostalgic now, I think, for us.
Yeah.
I wonder if kids watch it and whether they would get anything out of it. Because the music style's a bit dated now as well.
Yeah, well, there's a certain pocket of kids who still listen to frickin' Sum 41. But they're few and far between.
They're all drum and bass now, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
All drum and bass. Right, I need to pick a film.
Cool.
I've picked Memories of the Future by Sigismund
What the hell is that? That looks like the bleakest book I've ever seen in my life. What's the picture on the front?
Oh, it is. It's this is like surrealist Russian literature.
Yeah. Oh my god. There's a man standing inside a clock tower next to the clock.
Yeah,
that's some deep stuff. That's very
great. That's my post-uni wilderness years. Anyway, right. So you're going to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
And I'm going to go over the page. You're going to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Oh, that's a name. Shushashin.
Okay,
Shushashin.
Definitely change Shushashin. Stop.
Wall.
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 Well, you can do wall. I'm sure you can.
I'm glad you've got faith in me.
Yep. Wall. Okay.
Right. Here's a sentence. Having finished his exercise requiring no special equipment save a person, a wall, and a readiness to make oneself an open target.
Oh, what does that mean? Is that sexy or violent?
Shushashin threw the noose of his suspenders over his shoulders, took a deep breath, then yawned and squinted out the window. Opposite his window, long sentence. Opposite his window was another window, and in that window was the yellow haze of a light bulb that seemed to have lost its way between day and night.
Oh, that's good writing.
Yes, didn't it? Russian stuff's great. Shushishin crossed off yesterday's date and slipped his arms into the sleeves of his coat.
Oh.
Very good.
Very good.
Adam's retro film reviews. The Fifth Element, 1997.
When the three planets are in eclipse, the black hole like a door is open. Evil comes, spreading terror and chaos.
There's nothing that can stop this.
There is only one thing.
Perfect.
The Mondachi-One have in their possession the only weapon to defeat evil. 4 elements, gathered around a fifth. They're here.
Hello.
Corbin, sweetheart. You got broken fingers, you can't punch my number?
I'm
Welcome on. Have a nice day.
Major Dallas, you're selected for a mission of the utmost importance.
What mission?
Save the world.
Is that thing solid?
Unbreakable.
Good. Where are the stones?
I don't know. And even if I did know, I wouldn't tell somebody like you.
There's nowhere else to go.
Directed and co-written by Luc Besson, The Fifth Element is now highly praised and regarded as a cult classic of science fiction cinema, which is weird when you consider just how difficult it is to find online, or even find a used DVD. I've slummed it with a VHS copy for years, but pushed the boat out recently and managed to find a Blu-ray copy in Australia to watch. Weird. But anyway, yes, The Fifth Element introduces us to a fantastical world set 300 years in the future. The human population, now spread across the galaxy, is ruled by the Federated Territories, while ordinary citizens, wearing exclusively Jean-Paul Gaultier designed clothes, inhabit cities of skyscrapers extending thousands of feet into the air. One such civilian, Corbin Dallas, played by Bruce Willis, is a former Special Forces operative, now slugging away as a taxi driver, living in a dinky little apartment, smoking a maximum of 4 cigarettes a day, while dodging calls from his overbearing mother. Little does Corbin know, however, that a prophesized evil ball of flame has appeared in the far reaches of space, its arrival foretold by the mysterious gold-plated Mondo Shawan aliens, who are on their way to Earth to defend the world against evil. Except, it doesn't go so well. Shot down by a race of mercenary alien monsters, the Mangalores, the Mondo Shawan ship crashes and burns. A single survivor is recovered from the crash. Well, a part of one anyway. A single severed hand of the alien species is sent to a medical facility in New York, where it's processed and used to rebuild a new being, a perfect being. Referred to as Lilu, played by Mila Jovovich, this perfect being quickly escapes her confinement and leaps off the medical facility roof, falling straight into Corbin Dallas's taxicab as it swoops in the air. In no time at all, Corbin is dragged kicking and screaming into an elaborate conspiracy wherein he and Lilu, along with 2 priests that have followed the Mondo Shawan's prophecy for hundreds of years, played by the late great Sir Ian Holm and Charlie Creed Miles. They must recover 4 ancient stone artifacts to stop the evil force as it speeds toward Earth. Its plan? Well, total annihilation. But little do they know that the evil force has its own agents and has seduced the sinister Zorg, a sadistic and cold-blooded capitalist played by Gary Oldman, to do his bidding. It was Zorg that hired the Mangalores to shoot down the Mondo Shawans, and when the Mangalores fail to recover the stones, he sets out to recover them himself, eventually culminating in a massive set piece on board a cruise ship as it orbits a luxury planet. I love this film. No, wait. I love this film. The Fifth Element tells a galaxy-spanning adventure without ever feeling like it's trying too hard. The film's production lands neatly in that late 90s bubble where CGI was merely used to cover the gaps of the models and miniatures. And I can honestly say that the sequences in New York not only still hold up 23 years later, but they look incredible. The whole world does. Jean-Paul Gaultier's catwalk designs may look weird now, but in Luc Besson's world they blend in perfectly. Everything does. This is a living, breathing world. Although, perhaps a little misogynist. But even the scantily clad women are there to serve a purpose, whether it's flirting with cops or being seduced by sleazy radio DJ Ruby Rod, played, by the way, to perfection by Chris Tucker. There's so much to love in The Fifth Element. It's an adventure of love, action, and some great moments of comedy to boot. The soundtrack by Eric Serra is so delightfully weird and unique too, lending an international mix of sitars and western trance to the visuals. The plot, while a shade too twisty-turny, does everything it needs to, even if Lee Evans does stand out like a sore thumb. Watch The Fifth Element, watch it 100 times, then watch Valerian, then go back and watch The Fifth Element again. They don't make them like this anymore.
And this is?
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Multipass. You know this Multipass. Lilu Dallas, my wife. We're newlyweds. Just met. You know how it is. Bump into each other, sparks happen. Yeah, she knows it's a Multipass. Yeah, anyway, we're in love.
I'm just a sweet screen bucket. Oh, Robert?
Yes.
Remember last time we used the magic of technology to summon Nick from the darkness?
Oh, for that PlayStation thing?
Yes, the PlayStation thing. Well, to be brand conscious, other consoles are available. We've summoned the Dark Lord once more to discuss all things Xbox.
There's an Xbox coming out?
There is very much a Series Kiss.
Oh.
And here he is to discuss it. Hello, Nick.
Hello.
Oh, God. Hello, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you two?
Good.
Grand.
Excellent.
Grand, to be sure.
Is that offensive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah.
Right. So, tell us about what's happening, Nicholas.
Well, there's been the Xbox Series X apparently game reveal that is for games only on the Xbox Series X, but also the PC.
Okay. Yes. Yes, indeed. What's the name of this one?
Series X. Xbox Series X, yes.
Dumb name.
Yes, I completely agree.
I'd have thought they'd have changed it by now, but... Yeah.
Well, because the Xbox X is already a thing, isn't it?
Well, it's the Xbox One X. So you had the way that they're looking at it, if you think about it, you had the Xbox 360, which had the Xbox 360 Slim and all the other variations of the Xbox 360. Then you had the
blah,
Xbox
blah,
One.
blah.
And now it's the
Blah,
Xbox...
blah, blah, blah. Microsoft got a new thing, and it's a big box, right?
It is it's a fridge.
Yeah, have we heard? Is there anything about that? Because we tried looking it up. Because all fairness, me and Rob didn't watch this one. We watched the PS4 reveal thing, where we watched
PS4?
the ghoul-like PS5, the ghoul-like evil CGI beasts flogging their wares. Was there anything like that this time?
Oh God, yeah.
No. Because the console had already been announced a long time ago. Xbox were well out of the blocks before PS5, before Sony were. So we had some people talking that looked like actual humans. And then they were just more talking about the games and all of the money that Microsoft have pumped into their first-party studios.
Okay. Interesting. So, sod it. What games were they talking about then?
Well, there was a few games, but I'll only focus on the main ones that I'm most excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be, first of all, coming straight off the bat, they started with, of course, Halo Infinite.
Woo!
Yeah, Rob was very excited about this.
Oh yeah, I am.
Yes.
I think it looks awesome.
You actually watched the
I think it
gameplay,
does.
having recently
I
dismissed the idea of gameplay videos.
I hate watching gameplay videos because they're boring. But this one was cool because it gave me all sorts of nostalgia. I know people were moaning on the internet about the graphics being crap, but I thought it was just a very nostalgic sort of... It was very Halo. It had all of the little tropes and feelings of the original games, so I was very happy with it, personally.
I completely agree. I'm very excited about it. It looks like original Halo, but it also has a few extra cool bits, like that whole grappling hook.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Which was stolen from Doom, wasn't it?
Oh, bloody! There's been grappling hooks around for decades, Adam. For goodness' sake.
Not in first-person shooters, though.
I think that
got the hook shot of Zelda fame and the hook shot of Just Cause. That's about it, isn't it?
What Doom did the
Batman.
grappling hook come out in, the first one?
The one that's just come out, Doom Eternal.
Oh, they had James Bond's Agent Under Fire had a grappling hook.
Yeah!
He used to shoot around the levels with a grappling hook. That was like 2002.
Agent
Doom
Under
did it
Fire.
first.
Yes, all right. Anyway, so yeah, it looks very good. Now, interestingly, with regards to how people complain about it looked crap, the stream quality made it look really bad, but then they released a 4K video afterwards, which made it look a lot better. But the thing that makes it look really bad is the lighting. There's no ray tracing in there whatsoever, and so it looks really washed out and crap. And that's something they're going to have to focus on to make it look next gen.
Is this not supposed to be the big marketing event where they're supposed to show it off at its best?
Yes, exactly. But the problem is they're also saying all of these games can run on the Xbox One. And as we know, the Xbox One was one of the worst consoles ever made. And for that console to be able to run it, it can't. So yeah.
Interesting. Weird choice. Okay, so what's next?
Next up, we've got The Medium.
Oh, yeah.
Is this the Silent Hill one?
This is the one that's Silent Hill, yeah.
So it's Bloober Team who did. Bloober Team did the Rutger Hauer game, The Observer, and Layers of Fear 1 and 2. So all games that I really, really like.
Paintings are scary. That's Layers of Fear.
Yes. But yeah, so that's what Bloober Team are doing. But the most amazing thing about this, which they've already showed off the Medium in the last video that Xbox did, but this one they showed that they were rendering 2 worlds at the same time.
Yeah,
so
interesting.
You can flip.
That's cool.
That's the power of the SSD. Both Sony and Xbox have very, very strong SSDs.
So you're a lady walking around spooky Chernobyl, and it's even spookier in a different
Chernobyl?
world. It's all Russian writing. It looks like Chernobyl.
I didn't think it looked like Chernobyl.
It was all ruined.
There was
Very
another
similar
game
to
that was
PS4
Chernobyl
trailer, which we were watching, where there was a woman going around the planet and it kept changing and going evil.
Oh, the PS5 one. Yeah.
PS5,
What was that?
yeah.
What was that? Had a stupid name. Remember
Returnal.
Returnal. You know, it just looked like Silent Hill meets Stranger Things. Which,
yes,
I mean, yeah, bring it on. Pretty cool.
Why not? Then the actual whole event ended with the announcement, the worst kept secret in the history of video games, Fable, and that Playground Games are making it, who have done Forza Horizon series. So
Fable has bitten me before. Fable's a series that every game seems to get worse and worse, but always looks better, but is always marketed better.
Well, I'm slightly excited because I like Playground Games. I like what they did with the Forza Horizon series. It's very, very good. Can they do Fable? Don't know. But it's certainly going to be better than Fable 3 because you can't really get worse than Fable 3.
I've got to say, though, the trailers we just watched for the Xbox range, that's the most interesting trailer.
Oh, it's funny,
yes.
Actually made us laugh, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Which,
Fable
the third Fable...
yes.
It's just generally...
quite.
Of all of these trailers, they're all a bit meh. And Fable stood out because it was... Ooh!
Yes, I completely
agree.
The game will be very excited about it. Well, we'll see. Next up, we had a little sort of short talk about Hellblade: Senua's Saga. Obviously, we had that trailer that
blew
me
trailer,
away.
Right?
Yeah, well, that was the trailer from ages ago.
Feeling.
But there was no trailer this time. They just announced that it was being set in Iceland, and then they announced that it was being run on Unreal Engine 5. Which did you watch that Unreal Engine 5?
Unreal Engine 5 looks incredible. You watched that, didn't you?
Yes.
Was that the one with the woman walking around the temple like Tomb Raider?
Yes. It was incredible.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So I'm now even more excited about Hellblade 2 than I was before, which I didn't think was possible. But yeah, and then we moved on to Avowed.
Oh, Yes, this looked good. I like the look of this. It's sort of very, very Lord of the Rings.
Well, it looked like the Balrog coming through the
everything.
Moria, the mines of Moria.
The trailer opens with an arrow being shot through the air, through clouds, past giant statues built into the cliffs.
Yeah, it's so Lord of the Rings.
Through a crack in the ground with all ruins of old mining stuff. Very Lord of the Rings, but also completely Skyrim.
Massively Skyrim.
Yes.
To the point where I thought it was a bit Skyrim, like the whole spell on the left hand thing, and
yeah.
I like the idea of drawing the symbol. I hope that's in gameplay.
I reckon it must be. Why would they do that if it wasn't? But the it's set in the world of Pillars of Eternity, which is Obsidian's old game series, a top-down RPG. But yeah, I mean, Obsidian doing Skyrim. I mean, they did Fallout New Vegas, which was better than Fallout 3, and so if they do Skyrim, which is going to be probably better than Skyrim, you know.
Yeah, the only thing with Obsidian, they also did the boring Outer Worlds,
which people love, and it's
makes
a darling game
because it means like Outer Worlds was boring, but Outer Worlds 2 will be brilliant. It might be the same with this. They might just be experimenting and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, and also they'll have more money because they've got Microsoft's funding now. That came a little too late for Outer Worlds, but then they also announced the Outer Worlds DLC in this event.
Did they?
Yeah.
I missed that completely.
Explain.
Yeah, so have a look. It's just a little trailer to explain that there's going to be an asteroid that you can go and explore. It's all very noir kind of style of trailer. But yeah, it'll be.
We need to stop this recording immediately. Quick.
You want to watch it now?
No, we'll do it later. Come on, chop.
So that looks interesting anyway. Next up, we got Warhammer 40k Dark Tide.
Yes.
Oh, this is more your bag, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
So made by the developers of Vermintide.
Yep. Which was Left 4 Dead with giant rats in a fantasy world.
Yes, this looks basically the same.
Yeah,
Left 4 Dead, but
now it's
Space Marines.
Left 4 Dead with Imperial Guard with lasers shooting up zombies. Well, chaos infected scum. Yeah.
Yes.
I quite like the look of that.
Well, that's going to be one that you and me could potentially play together if we both have the same console when it comes out.
Yeah, right. I've fought this thing for years. But yes, potential stream thing.
Yes. Well, interestingly, the fact that it's showing up on this event, I think it's coming out both Xbox One and Series X, and if it is, then it'll be crossplay.
Oh.
That'll be good. Okay.
Yes.
Some alien scum.
Talking of coming out on both Xbox One and Series X and being crossplay and looking flipping amazing, Destiny 2.
Blah, 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 blah. We couldn't give a toss. Oh my God.
know.
We watched the trailer and almost fell asleep. Rob left the room.
I remember there being a Destiny trailer. It's just completely been deleted from my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny 2 still has a massive fan base. It's got people playing it in the millions still. I really do love it, but it's one of those ones, you love it if you've got people to play it with. It's not a great single-player game at all. And it's coming out, so it's already going to be launched on Game Pass, but it's going to be the new Destiny 2 expansion is going to be launched on Game Pass.
Nick, look what you're doing to Rob. Rob is yawning. He just inhaled
I wasn't yawning.
half the room.
I was checking if my mouth still works. There's a difference.
Listen, the talk of Destiny 2 going on to Game Pass brings me on to the next subject, which is that this whole video event thing, was nothing to do with the Series X. Absolutely nothing to do with the Series X. That is just a secondary thought as far as Microsoft are concerned. What this was really an event for was Game Pass. So every single game that was announced is going to be launched in day one on Game Pass, and every single Xbox exclusive is going to be launched day one on Game Pass.
So just remind the simpletons of the audience, what the hell is Game Pass? What are you talking about?
So Game Pass is Xbox's Netflix style of feeding games into your eyeballs.
Okay.
So
how much is it a month?
you either pay $5.99 a month and get just Game Pass, or you pay $10.99 a month and get Gold and Game Pass intertwined as well.
What the hell is Gold and Game Pass?
No, Gold and Game Pass.
Gold is just your standard online thing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get well over 100 games that you can just download and play as much as you
But
want.
that's too much.
Hang on, wait. So every Xbox game that is released will be released on the Game Pass, and just for $5.99 a month.
Yes.
Why is that too good to be true? What's going on here?
Because Xbox make all of their money from these subscriptions. So they've already realised that people probably aren't going to be able to afford new consoles right off the bat. They know that people can't afford £70 a month or £70 every time a big game comes out. So
that's an interesting development, actually. That's
Is
there
the other
what?
Sorry, I was going to say the other interesting development, which is very much so rumour at the moment, but looking very likely, is that Xbox are going to be getting rid of the subscription for Xbox Live Gold. So they'll be making online multiplayer completely free.
What's Microsoft doing? Where are they getting their money from?
It's Microsoft. They can afford it. What they're also doing, because how can they get rid of Gold and still expect people to pay $10.99 a month? Well, what do you know about xCloud?
Nothing. What are you talking about?
Another thing. There's too many things now.
xCloud is their version of Stadia. So streaming games
What's
to whatever
Stadia?
Oh,
you want.
Sorry.
You know Stadia, don't you?
No.
They've been advertising it on YouTube.
What the hell is that?
It's gaming without a console. Essentially, you stream it from the
Cloud.
Google Vault, the Area 51 Google Vault.
Okay.
So basically, the other rumour with them getting rid of Xbox Live Gold is that they're going to include in that $10.99 a month xCloud and Game Pass. So every game you have on Game Pass, I can literally just turn my phone on and start playing at console quality.
No,
whenever I want.
No, that's weird. No, I don't like it.
No.
I like things to be in my room. I like to read the book in my hand.
I completely agree, but it's a very interesting one as far as the console wars are concerned. If they come out and say the Xbox Series X is 300 or 400 quid, they make a massive loss on the console, but they get enough people to buy it, then they're going to make all of their money off of the Game Pass and xCloud, because that's a gimmick people will want.
Ugh, I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable.
So that's the general thing. So overall, what are your general thoughts now you know all that?
I liked the look of Halo. I can't think of a game on PlayStation, except for Resident Evil.
But that's on Xbox as well.
I don't think...
Resident Evil's on Xbox as well?
Resident Evil's on Xbox as well. Then
Yeah.
I think Xbox... If I were to be the kind of man who had the money to purchase such a console, I think Xbox may be just winning for me.
I've got to say, PlayStation made more of an effort.
Well, this is what I was thinking about. So this whole general feedback from the internet has been that PlayStation 5 blew it out the water. They had more exclusives and all this lot. And better exclusives. But I was looking through the list of the PlayStation exclusives and comparing it to Xbox, they actually had less exclusives. Because if you think about actual new games, the biggest one that was announced was Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is not a new game. It's just DLC that they're going to charge you 70 quid for.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And Horizon Forbidden West, which is a sequel that's not going to come out until probably next year, 2021, 2022 anyway. So I don't know if there is actually much between the two. Both consoles have got good games on, and it's just going to be whatever takes your fancy at the moment. Yeah,
Well,
Halo for me is easily winning it.
At the moment, none of it's interesting because it's all too expensive.
Yeah, let's stick to Luigi's Mansion.
What you can also do
2025 and see what's cheapest.
Well, yeah, but what you can also do with Xbox, if you don't have the money to land 400 quid straight off the bat, is that you can do a phone style subscription. So you open a contract with Microsoft, you pay 20 quid a month, and you get a brand new console. And
And
you pay
what's
it for 2
that?
years.
Forever until it breaks or something, or
No, it'll be an 18-month contract or a 24-month contract, whatever it is like with phones, and then you own it after you've paid it off.
Okay.
I mean, I hate that. I don't like that to be the world. Thank you very much.
It feels like Xbox are doing everything they can to make them consumer friendly, and people still are going, "No, I'm gonna buy a PlayStation." That's how it feels to me. So it's a bit of a weird one.
Can I watch a Blu-ray on it?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm on board. All right, Nick. Thank you very much for joining us.
There you are.
Yeah, thank you, Nick.
That's quite all right.
Goodbye, Nicholas.
Bye.
Back to bed with
Thank
you.
you for having me.
They came to party.
Get away from me, mate.
They came from outer space. But for these unhappy campers,
Just put this thing on.
things are about to get slimy. If you go down to the woods today, you'd better keep an eye out for quackers. They're mean, they're insane, and they're everywhere. And they've got an appetite for naughty campers. Starring Jodie Bennett, Bailey Pilbeam, Isabel Allbutt, and Blake Aiden. Quackers! They're everywhere.
We are not going back in that tent.
Watch it now at hollowdellmedia.vhx.tv.
And that was the show, Robert.
That was the show. That was the first 49 of our voyage into the mist.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Thanks so much for Nick for turning up and chatting his rubbish.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. Much appreciated.
Video games.
Mm.
Have you been playing anything? Do you play much these days?
Do you play? Loser.
Do you play? Do you even play, bro?
Do you play, bro? I have been playing Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm still playing it. I just got my DS. Oh, nice Luigi. I've just got my Nintendo DS charging cable back, so I will be booting up my copy of Pokemon Black and White 2, probably even tonight.
I've been playing Sinking City.
Oh, is that any good?
It's like a half-made game. It's quite cool though. It's a Lovecraftian detective game.
Nice.
Yeah, you just get given a map and just told where stuff's going on.
Okay, no,
I like that.
That sounds right up your street.
Yes. I'll tell you what I've also been doing. I've been listening to someone put on YouTube all the Red Dwarf commentary, DVD commentaries.
Of course.
It's pretty good. I've been listening to it like a podcast. I sort of know the show enough. But what's interesting is it's just a bunch of actors. There's no nerdery there.
No.
There's no, the 492 laser. That's interesting. Well, Red Dwarf's never really like that anyway.
No.
But, yeah, it's just a bunch of actors.
That's
just
cool.
talking.
I like that.
There's lots of stories about stuff that's going on the set and stuff. But it's interesting how competitive they are. Because I never really hear about this on sitcoms. Never hear about it on Seinfeld or anything. That these are all young 20-something actors. They're all competing for the laugh.
Yeah.
So if they don't have enough gags, they'll moan to the writer to put more gags in. If they're feeding the line to someone else to get the joke, they are annoyed.
Do you think that happens now?
It's weird, isn't it? Because you never hear about that.
No. And I don't know if now everything's so controlled that the script is the script. Maybe if you're Robert Downey Jr. level, you can have some sort of say about that. But I don't know if in a sitcom environment.
Well, it's interesting because putting myself in their shoes, well, it's interesting. Yeah, it's different. If you wrote it, I think it wouldn't matter who gets the laugh because you wrote it. It's your joke. You sort of know that. But if you're just on stage in front of people, you probably would be wanting the approval.
Imagine if you go for a whole episode and like Lister is killing it, and then Rimmer's just like, "Oh, I'm getting nothing here."
Yeah, that's what they say. And when there's episodes where some characters aren't there, Danny John Jules plays the cat. He often moans that he's not he's not there enough and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's kind of eye-opening.
Yeah, and I imagine from them, they've also got the whole paranoia of, okay, I don't know what's going to be written next. Am I going to be faded out?
But that's the other thing. Yeah, there is an element of that. Like,
Like,
they don't know if the series is going to come back.
From their point of view, this is all they got. They're thinking, God, I really
Yeah.
hope I'm prominent in the next series, otherwise I'm screwed. I'm back waiting tables again.
Yeah, it's
No.
it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'd recommend it. It's if you're interested in how things are put together, it's interesting.
Oh, nice one.
But yeah, yes.
Well,
Do you have anything to say?
do I have anything to say? The answer to that, my friend, is no. I've said my piece.
Wonderful. Well, let's say good night then.
Yes, good night, Vienna. Thank you very, very much, as always, for listening.
Indeed. If you like what we do have a look on our Patreon at patreon.com/Holodale Media, and do follow us at Streen_Bucket on Twitter and at Holodale Media on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, please do.
Cool. Okay, well, we'll see you in a fortnight, everyone.
For the anniversary special.
Oh my god.